the art, the science of messaging on LinkedIn. This is an important facet because if you think about it, you can connect and have as many connections as you want. But to really make a connection, you need to have a conversation. So that's something deep to think about. And yeah, as I mentioned, it's an art and a science. So what I'm going to be taking you through today is just a bit of that. What is the art? What is the science behind it? And my general riffs as to what a good messaging sequence comprises of and what you can be thinking of when it comes to messaging and introducing yourself to new connections that you've made on LinkedIn. So to get straight to it, I just want to show you this. This is part of one of our webinars that we give. I'll link to that in the description below. And what this is about is making a connection, right? So you've done your research, you've reached out to someone, you've connected with them, and they've accepted your connection request. They're now part of your network. Congratulations. That's amazing. Like you've just built your network up and they're going to be with you for life. The thing is, you don't want to just have a connection there laying dormant. You actually want to have a conversation. It's much like, again, the exhibition analogy. If you've got this stand space, if you're just standing there looking at your phone, you can have as many connections in the world or as many people around you as possible. You're not going to get much value from them. So what you need to start considering is, how do you reach out? So the template in front of you on the right here, the conversational opener, the value bomb, the big ask, this is just an example of a template you can use to reach out to individuals, to start that conversation, to start delivering value, and to start getting them outside of LinkedIn and onto a phone call, whether that's Zoom or whether that's a quick coffee. Now that we're getting out and about a little bit more, which is nice to see. On the left-hand side, what you'll see is a common marketing principle, but I love it. It's AIDA, which is attention, interest, desire, action. So every message you put together to reach out with to an individual, is it capturing their attention? Is it getting interest? Is it generating a desire? And has it got a strong call to action? Do they know what the next steps should be? So that's something that you need to think about in each of those sequences. Now, what I want to do is go a bit deeper and show you a few of these templates. This one is the problem solver template. Again, what it's important to note here is there's different degrees of effort and resource, right? So you might find it beneficial to have a pre-made template in mind that you can add into conversation or use as a first message, as an introduction, and then maybe add a custom or tailor it to that individual. So at least you've got something to go off. So that it's going to make it a little bit less resource intensive. And depending on what your goals are, you may not have the time to actually even customize it because you're busy. Maybe you're running a business, maybe you're already providing services to your current client base, but you want to use LinkedIn as a tool just to generate a bit more interest, awareness, and start offering out value. So what I like about this template in front of you is that it's got a bit of customization. So you've got the job title, the first name of the person you're reaching out to, but it also highlights 3 pain points. So this is showing them, that you understand a bit about the industry, you understand a bit about their situation. And in marketing, it's common to talk to the pain point because that's what you're trying to solve. So if you can identify which of the challenges or pain points that your ideal prospect has, then you're able to start on that journey to providing a valuable solution. So that's what this message is all about. It's all about identifying the pain points, presenting them to the prospect, and letting them pick which one of those most resonates with them. So it's much more about generating a discussion, right? Having a conversation and sharing that you can maybe potentially help with one of these, right? Another template I want to share with you. So this is part of our guide, our course, but these are useful pieces that you can pick and use to your own at your own discretion. So yeah, the other is an Informer template. So this is really good for building brand. again, and building a connection in the right way, you can again use this template and customize it to the prospect that you're reaching out to. But what you'll see here is it's about sharing knowledge. So an article that is of interest and a description of that article and why they might find it interesting. So this is going to be really useful if you are looking to push a bit more into a thought leadership direction, and that article can be replaced with a lot of relevant uh, assets. So there might be a white paper, something, maybe you've done some research, maybe you've put out a guide, maybe something that is of intrinsic value to that person that you're reaching out to, and making it very easy for them to understand why there is value there for them to read and click on. And the good thing about Sales Navigator, and if you watch my video on the top 3 reasons why we like Sales Navigator, one of those was smart links. And that is something that will be very effective here, because when people click on the article or the link that you provide, you'll get a notification as to whom clicked on that link. And that will give you a bit of an understanding of who's finding it interesting and if it's hitting the mark, right? So if no one's clicking on it, then maybe it's not something that is intrinsically valuable to your prospects that you're sharing it with. So all of that comes together nicely in this template here. And it's very much about focusing on them. So it's one of my favorite approaches because I like to lead with value first. And again, what I want to make clear is that this is part 1, or maybe the first instance of a message. It might be where you're using part 2 in the message. Again, the fortune is in the follow-up. What we saw when I first started on LinkedIn was one message we used to send, and when we sent a second and a third follow-up message, it literally doubled the response rates that we were receiving on LinkedIn, and thus doubling the amount of business we were able to generate from the platform. So definitely including follow-ups is definitely a core part of this. It's not just nowadays, especially with the noise that is out there. It's important that you're making an effort to reach out, not just once but multiple times. And for those who really want to become great at it, they're using an omnichannel approach. So they're not just using LinkedIn, but they're also using email, and they're combining the 2 mediums, because that's how you stand out from the noise. So by combining the 2 mediums and making references between email and LinkedIn, hey, I sent you an email. Hey, on LinkedIn, hey, I sent you an email. Hey, on email, hey, I sent you a LinkedIn connection request. By marrying the 2, you can really start increasing the amount of responses that you're seeing. Something to bear in mind. But yeah, back to the templates. So I think you get the gist of that. And then lastly is again, there's quite a few here, but lastly is the value transaction. I thought I might reach out as we have we are putting together for So that we would love to see if you could be a part of. So, hey, we're putting an event together. We're going to have some speaking slots. We'd love to have you on there and just share a few of your insights. And would that be something of interest? Because we'll be speaking to this audience. So that's going to be relevant to a lot of people who have maybe a bit more resources to hand. They've got a bit of a team that they've built up, and they can put together some of these valuable assets that then can coincide with the companies they're reaching out to. A good tip is with guides, maybe you want to use other people's knowledge to create a guide of your own, and that can then be used as an asset to reach out to an audience and offer them value. So there's different ways that you can use LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be just direct. Actually, nowadays, I feel that the main thing that you want to be focusing on as a goal, a main objection, is building a relationship. So building a connection, sharing value, asking questions. Even feedback is a way to start a conversation if it's relevant to the person. So messaging and the content that is included in that messaging, you can use these templates. It's also about understanding your prospect what exactly is important to them. We've actually got a questionnaire as well in the guide that goes through these and these questions that you can ask yourself to go through all of this. But that's all going to come part and parcel of making a good messaging sequence. You can't just always think copying and pasting a template will just work wonders. But in a lot of instances, it will help you along your way, and it will start getting you in the right conversations. And with those right conversations, you'll start getting into profitable communication that will lead to revenue generating action. So all of that, it is useful to test it out and start trialing it out. Me myself, I'm someone who likes to execute, and I learn from executing. So that's something that I'd encourage you guys to do, is start having conversations with your network. Maybe there's already connections you've established and you need to reach out to them, and you're thinking about, how do I do it? What can I say? So hopefully this has given you some key areas to think about. Again, the guide will be in the link below. And yeah, until next time, look forward to catching up soon.